We need to talk about this. So they're bringing Final Cut Pro to the iPad. That is fantastic. I love Final Cut Pro. I've been using it for a long time, but I also love DaVinci Resolve, and I've also been using that for a while as well. And DaVinci Resolve already has an iPad app. They've had it for a few months, and just initial impressions, it seems like the Resolve app has a few things going for it that are better than what Final Cut Pro on the iPad will be. First off, it's going to work on older iPads, right? I have an older iPad. The screen is starting to break. It's starting to fall apart on me. I've used it, very hard, and I love it. And I'm probably going to have to get a new one when this one falls apart. But for now, it works, and I can use DaVinci Resolve on that iPad to edit. I won't be able to use Final Cut Pro for iPad when it comes out because that's restricted to M1 chips and higher. You look sleepy. Let me just charge my cat. Boop, boop. Another difference between these two apps is that I can't send a project from grown-up Final Cut to Final Cut on the iPad, but I can send a project from grown-up DaVinci Resolve, desktop DaVinci Resolve, to DaVinci Resolve on the iPad. So that's kind of a disappointment. I hope it's a temporary disappointment, but we'll see. The last advantage that I think Resolve has over Final Cut Pro is the pricing structure. So Final Cut Pro on the iPad is going to be a subscription product, which, okay, sure, I guess. $50 a year, I think, $5 a month. It's good that they have a monthly, but I don't love subscription pricing for Final Cut Pro. It makes me worried that there's going to be subscription pricing coming for new versions of Final Cut Pro on the desktop. I hope not, but that might be in the cards. We'll see. Contrast that with DaVinci Resolve. They're using on the iPad kind of the same model that they use on the desktop. It is a free program where you can do a ton of stuff, but if there are much more advanced, specialty, professional things that you need to do that are above that, and to be clear, the stuff you can do for free is a lot. But if you need something more, you can upgrade to DaVinci Resolve Studio. You're paying once, and that's it. You're done. You own it. I do believe in paying for software and paying developers. It takes time and money to make this stuff. But here's an interesting parallel between Blackmagic, who makes DaVinci Resolve, and Apple, who makes Final Cut. Both companies sell hardware, and they provide software that tightly integrates with that hardware. There is a real value in owning hardware from Apple and buying software for Apple. And there's a real value in owning hardware from Blackmagic and buying Blackmagic's software, which is DaVinci Resolve and other related tools. So it's interesting to see one company take the subscription route, Apple, and one company not. I don't know which one's better or worse, but I know I don't love paying a monthly fee to edit videos. Looking at you, Adobe, don't think that you could get out of this one either. So I just think out of the gate, Resolve for iPad has a few advantages over Final Cut Pro for iPad, but I would love to know what you think. As soon as you get the app, let me know if you like it, how you feel about it, how you feel about subscription pricing, or if you would like to see a similar offering from Adobe. And no, I don't know that Adobe Rush really counts. Sorry. If you get Final Cut Pro for the iPad, I would love to hear about your experiences with it. I'm probably not going to get it because even though my iPad is busted and dying and the screen's falling apart, it still works for the most part, so I'm going to hang in there. So I won't get to use Final Cut Pro for a while, I think. But I would love to hear your experiences with it. You can leave a comment here on this video, or subscribe to the channel, or just find some way that we can interact so I can hear about your experiences with Final Cut Pro on the iPad. For me, for now, I will be sticking with DaVinci Resolve. So that's it. That's some initial thoughts about DaVinci Resolve on the iPad versus the upcoming Final Cut Pro on the iPad. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a like or a comment, especially once you get Final Cut Pro for the iPad. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. And I look forward to reading those in the comments. See you next time.